Hi, I'm Siani, and I'm here with Miss Julie Knudsen, and I will be discussing teen relationships. What are your foundations of a good relationship?
I think the most important thing for a healthy relationship is trust. And I think that people kind of minimize that. But if a relationship, teen relationship, adult relationship, if you don't have trust, it's broken from the start. And I think we all tend to be insecure in a little bit. So it makes it harder to trust. You wonder if your partner is with somebody else or doing something or hanging out with other friends. You know, that can bring up uneasy feelings. And then you start to veer away from trust.
And do you feel as though there are perfect relationships in this world?
That's a tough question. I think that relationships always require work.
Yes.
So I guess the short answer would be no, because relationships just don't happen. They have to be nurtured. You have to have good communication and always be working.
And what are your views on teen dating?
I think it's part of life. I think the culture has changed just in terms of really like dating, like boys asking girls out to go out. I think those were like the old days. That's kind of how I grew up, but I don't think kids are doing that so much now. But I think healthy respect is really important, and just to with respect, it's respecting each other's time, not just thinking last minute you can drop everything. If somebody is playing a sport or is doing schoolwork, that that comes first.
Yes. And do you feel as though it's safe to date while you're a teenager? Like, as in, do you feel as though there's dating violence? Like, do you feel it's good? Like that?
Yeah, I think, again, you want to go back to trust and healthy communication and making sure that you're keeping your priorities and your goals always at the forefront. But unfortunately, there are lots of relationships, because the trust starts to erode, or people feel insecure, or other people start some drama, and then gradually, that's what's kind of scary, is kind of the violence and the control. Not necessarily overt physical violence, but kind of this control and withdrawing from friends and family, and that evolves. And I know that Norristown's involved in a state kind of grant working with Planned Parenthood and Laurel House and the school district. And Miss Giselle Noblock, the nurse at the high school, is very involved in that project. And she can speak a lot to the teen violence issue.
And so what is a healthy relationship to you?
I think a healthy relationship, I think we're conditioned sometimes that you're selfish if you're thinking about yourself first. And I really think that's important for guys and girls, men and women, to always remember to put their needs first, their expectations, their interests, and then blend that into a relationship. The relationship shouldn't come first, that you always have to make the other person happy, because it sounds trite, but if you're happy and good where you're at, then the relationship is much healthier.
Okay. And from experiences as a teen, have you had any bad relationships or good relationships?
Yeah, I think about, my first love was my boyfriend in high school, who's junior. Yeah, he was pretty good. I got to, he wasn't controlling. He didn't go to college. He went right into the workforce, but college was important to me, and it was never, you can't go to college. If you love me, you'll stay here. And so I think that when I look back on that, I think that was pretty healthy, I think.
And are there any words of encouragement that you would give to teenagers dating as of right now in high school?
I know that the relationship feels like that's the end-all be-all when you're a teen in your life, but I think, again, you just have to be mindful of what your goals are. I keep going back to that, but you're getting your education now, and the choices that you make as a teen really are going to impact where you are later on in terms of career and college and different choices. And if you get too focused on the relationship, it can be a distraction to other things that really need to be a priority.
And so how do you make a relationship last in high school or in life? How would you?
It sounds really basic again, but I've really found working a lot with families and couples, it's communication, that it's really being able to speak to what you need as an individual and what you need from a relationship. And that gets really hard to do, especially if the other person isn't seeing it, or you're overreacting, or that's stupid, or you're making too big a deal, or if you only do this, we'll be okay. And it's not the partner completing the other partner and making it okay.
And how should a serious relationship be treated? Like, what do you find, like, in a person, like, saying as in, how do you feel if you're in a relationship for like an X amount of years and you really love that person, but then you might have to like eventually let them go, I guess? How should that be dealt with, in other words?
Again, I think, we always want to turn around. You would want to end that relationship the way you would hope it would be ended for you, even though it would be hurtful and something you don't want. You need to be very clear,
Yes.
and not be kind of talked back into it if it's the right thing to end the relationship and do it respectfully. But again, to be very resolute and not engage in dialogue, but only, or why don't we try, or if it's time to end the relationship, to be very matter of fact and short.
Okay. And